Hey there everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be looking at how you should write a resolution for MUN, and this is part 2 of the MUN series. So without any further ado, let's get started. First of all, you should know what a resolution actually is. So an MUN resolution paper is the formal document produced and adopted by various United Nations bodies. In Model UN, it is a summary of the document that contains all the clauses written by the delegates during the simulation to be voted on at the end. So what this basically means is that a resolution contains two parts. It contains the preambulatory clauses and it contains the operative clauses. In the preambulatory clauses, it states all the previous actions done by different organizations and especially the UN and why this problem or why this topic at hand is such a big issue. And then operative clauses is what the solutions that delegates came up with during the committee when they were debating, when they were discussing with each other. This is what the operative clauses are. So when you combine these two together, it forms a resolution, and then this resolution is voted upon at the end whether it should be passed or whether it should be failed. Now, resolutions have a particular format that you need to follow, and let me just tell you this: each MUN circuit and each MUN has its own resolution format. Sometimes, like, even though they're almost very similar, sometimes it can vary, so make sure you confirm with your chair what the resolution format is required over here. So a resolution will almost always contain a concise and evocative title or number. Now what this means is that each resolution that you're creating, for example, if I'm creating a resolution, then it will be given a particular name. Maybe it will be given resolution 1A or resolution 11. So that's why it's important to add the title of your resolution. It should contain a list of the signatories, main submitters, co-sponsors, the name of the committee that it's in. Then it should start with the preambulatory clauses, which are punctuated by the semicolons, followed by the operative clauses, which are punctuated by the commas, and a concluding clause punctuated by a period, which means that your last operative clause would end with a period. Now, I've mentioned clause a lot of times, so you need to know what clauses actually are. Each clause addresses a specific aspect related to the overall subject matter of the document. So in MUN, a clause is a written instruction detailing the practical policy you want implemented if the resolution passes. So as I said, the operative clauses that you have, these are the solutions that you want to be implemented. So if your resolution actually passes, then everything you wrote in your operative clauses will be implemented if it were to be the real UN. So as I have mentioned preambulatory and operative clauses, I'll just quickly read through so that you guys know. So a preambulatory clause, or also called a preamb, is a clause that comes before the actual resolution. In terms of the actual resolution, it means the operative clauses. The sole purpose of this clause is to give context to the operative clauses and remind the committee of the mood and framework in which this resolution was produced. So everything that has been done before to handle the issue at hand, every reason why it is every reason like why it is very crucial to discuss it. Then moving on to operative clauses, these state the solutions that the sponsors of the resolution propose to resolve the issue. The operative clauses should address this issue specifically mentioned in the preambulatory clauses above it. So the issues that you mention in your preambulatory clauses should most likely be answered in your operative clauses. Now there are certain ways in which you have to write your preambulatory clauses and operative clauses. So for preambulatory clauses, you have to use, like, it always uses the substantive form of a verb like ing, for example, recalling, and you put it in italics, and at the end of the clause it ends with a semicolon. Then you also use small letters as your bullet points, such as A, B, C, for its subclause, and it follows the title of the resolution and the committee name but precedes the address to the voting parties and the operative clauses. So the preambulatory clauses come after your title of the resolution and the details below it and before your operative clauses. Then an operative clause always follows the address to the member states or voting parties. It starts with an operative verb in the operative form, for example, request, and it's usually underlined. It starts with numbers, so your first operative clause will be numbered 1 dot like 1, and then you have your operative clause. The next one will be 2 dot and so on and so on. And you also use Roman numerals for its subclasses, and it's punctuated with a comma. Now, as I said, your last operative clause would be a full stop. You shouldn't have a full stop anywhere in the document except the last place, because wherever you place the full stop is where your resolution ends. So if your chair isn't really considerate, your resolution would end exactly even before it starts if it's not placed at the correct place. Then there are some sample preambulatory phrases you can use. As you can see, they almost all end with ing or alarmed by. So take a look at this, and you have some sample operative clauses as well. Now, when you look at the preambulatory clauses, almost all the time, most delegates start with recognizing the UN Charter. Then it's something you can also start with, but it's not compulsory. Over here, I took this from somewhere. They have made a mistake. They have underlined it as well. It's not really necessary. The underlining really comes in place when you're talking about the operative clauses. So operative clauses, as you can see, you first start with the number, then letters, and then Roman numerals. So I think I made a mistake here. Just correct that. And I would also suggest that you go to internet and you search for MUN resolutions, and you watch other videos on how you should write it, so that you get a better understanding of how it's supposed to be. And I'll also add one thing, is that if you as a delegate have the idea or know how to write a resolution, that really sets you apart from other new delegates that don't know how to, and puts you in favor compared to the others. So that's all that I have for this video. If you have any other video recommendation, feel free to put it in the comments. And that's all. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, tada.